A beautiful October day is the backdrop for the second to last NASCAR Winston Cup Series race of the 2002 season here in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. It is the Dodge 400 at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Short track racing as the penultimate race of the season, with the championship out oh so close between teammates Chris Jericho and Mathis. And oh, by the way, 5 drivers in this race running for $1 million in the final Winston Noble 5 bonus race of the 2002 season. It's great to be here on JRTV. I'm Jericho, here to bring you flag-to-flag coverage of this Dodge 400 race. The championship out oh so intense between teammates, and if those two teammates slip up at any point here today, other drivers like Jordan Stout, Zachary DeLello, Sebastian Kukulan could close in to make it more than just those two drivers fighting for the championship. However, it's going to be very, very difficult for someone other than those Joe Gibbs drivers to go into Atlanta with a shot at the championship, as the Joe Gibbs teammates lock out the third row. Jericho starting in 5th, Mathis starting in 6th place. Those are very good starting spots for those front two in the championship, as well as winner at Rockingham last race took over the points lead by 29 points over Chris Jericho. We'll see if Jericho can make up any ground here today at North Wilkesboro, and if those two can stay clear of the rest of the drivers behind and keep it just a battle between those two for the championship, and not to invite any of the Roush or Richard Childress racing drivers into that fight for the championship. At the front of the field are drivers looking for something to go their way this season. Matthew Burnett had a very good opening stretch of the season, faded a little towards the middle point of the season, but lately has really stumbled in that number 17 car. He starts on pole here today in the Dodge 400, looking for his first victory of the season. His other Roush teammates have multiple victories on the season. Think about Keyshawn Richardson with 5 wins, Jordan Stout with his 4, Zachary DeLello with his few. Matthew Burnett still has not won yet this season, with just 2 races to go. Could today be the day for Burnett? His teammate DeLello dominated this race last season, leading 79 of the 80 laps en route to victory. We'll see if Burnett can follow in those footsteps here today this season at North Wilkesboro. Starting to his outside is Evan Hunter in the 36, a Team MB2 that started oh so well this season, but has faded as of late. Hunter looking to keep both his cars inside the top 20 in points. He'll start second here today, right where he started last season, en route to a third place finish. Evan Hunter knows how to get down North Wilkesboro and could do it once again this season in that number 36 car. Jordan Edwards in third place for Fitz Bradshaw Racing. We've learned that he is going to be the owner for Hendrick Motorsports next season, leaving behind his driving role to go to the ownership side. So he's looking to give Fitz Bradshaw Racing one final hurrah as he leaves the team. Remember, he won the Daytona 500 for them earlier this season. He's looking for one final win for that organization in his final 2 races. And how about Riley Sprue in 4th place? His teammate Luke Rainey won earlier this season at Bristol. Riley's still yet to win, but he's moved up to 6th in the point standings, has a realistic shot to get inside the top 5 if things go his way. Last season in this race, he was running top 5 for the whole thing before running dry on fuel in the final few laps, relegating him down the running order. Riley starts in 4th here this season, has a fast race car teammate Luke Rainey with him in 7th place. We know the Rob Yates cars have had speed in the second half of the season, and Riley Sprue looking to use it to gain points on the top 5 and possibly put that car inside the top 5 in points at the end of this season. And then behind the championship battle also comes the Winston Noble 5 bonus, and how those 5 drivers are going to race here today. But with the starting lineup, you wouldn't really expect it to be a Winston Noble 5 race, because only 2 of the Winston Noble 5 drivers will start inside the top 15 here today. They're Chris Jericho and Mathis. The front two in the championship. Not only are they battling for points, they could possibly be battling for $1 million check at the end of the day if they get it done here today. Jericho starts in 5th, Wells in 6th. You have to go way back to 18th place. That's where Laura Chung, the 3rd Winston Noble 5 driver, will start. Keegan Thompson even further back in 22nd. And then you have to go all the way to the last position to find Zach DeLello, who is the final driver in the Winston Noble 5 bonus race. DeLello was set to start inside the top 15 in this race here today, but failed post-qualifying inspection. So that puts DeLello, driver 4th in the point standings, 200 points back, all the way at the back of the field. If he wants to have a shot at the championship come Atlanta, he needs a lot of help here today. If he wants a shot at the $1 million bonus, he needs a lot of help. If he wants a shot at his 2nd straight North Wilkesboro win, he's going to need a lot of help in this race. And we'll see if that help arrives for that number 97 by means of a timely caution flag or just a fast race car. Last season, that car was faster, leading 79 of the 80 laps, leading all but the first lap in that one. We'll see if DeLello can come through the field and possibly lead maybe just the last lap here this season at North Wilkesboro on the Dodge 400. Let's take a look at the Ford Fastbacks here for North Wilkesboro, as it's a beautiful day, clear skies, mostly clear skies here in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Beautiful day, as mentioned, with 68 degrees. Very cool October day for these fans and drivers. 4 miles an hour wind in the east direction, and just a 5% chance of rain for the race here today. This race is 80 laps in length. That shortens out to 50 miles in the fuel window. Watch for this, 45 to 50 laps. We'll see how far they can go. Last season, a caution came out with around 50 laps to go, which set up a slight fuel mileage, ending with a few drivers running dry at the end of the race. This track is 0.625 miles in length, with 14 degrees of banking in the turns and 3 degrees on the straightaways. The track opened in 1947, one of the oldest we have on the schedule, and held its first race in the Winston Cup Series here in 1981. This is the 38th Winston Cup Series race here at North Wilkesboro. It had 2 races a season from 1981 all the way up to 1996. And the track hosted the finale race of the season from 1981 to 1994. It used to be the race that crowned a champion. Now it's the race that sets up who has a shot for the championship going into Atlanta. Race number 31 of the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup Series about to go live from JRTV. Let's go down tracks that get the command to fire these 42 cars up.
Start your engines.
"42 cars come to life in Wilkes County, North Carolina, to do battle in the second-to-last race of the season." Quickly go back to talk about the man starting in 8th place, the number 24 of Justin Seidel. The last few races he started well, but has not raced well at all. A driver looking for Hendrick's second victory on the season, looking for his first win in over 2 years. Seidel starts in 8th place today, definitely has a shot to perform well, but will the car race well? Unlike the past few weeks, we're going to find out here after 80 laps of action at North Wilkesboro. The front of the field, Matthew Burnett and Evan Hunter there, the front row. For the Dodge 400 launch, Edwards and Spurley-Tube, and then the 2 championship frontrunners of Jericho and Wells on the third row, the 18 and the number 20. As they come down, there's the green flag, and we're racing at North Wilkesboro. Good jump from Matthew Burnett. He leaves the field. Here comes Jordan Edwards, though, looking to the bottom lane with Chris Jericho behind him. Remember, last season we had a lap 1 crash and 2 cars go upside down. This season it stays clean, and Burnett leads the first lap from pole position. Edwards now in second. Jericho, the championship runner-up at the moment, in third place. Down for fourth. Hunter on the outside. Lucran in the inside. And sliding in right behind that 88 is his teammate, Riley Spurley-Tube, as Burnett again wide through 3 and 4, but able to maintain the gap out in front. They're still 3 wide further back, but keeping it going straight for now. And Jericho a little bit wide for third place. And here comes Luke Rainey looking to the bottom lane. Off turn number 2. Can't get to the inside, but gets right to the back bumper. I think these drivers at the front, they're really going to need to find a way around that number 83 fast. As Jericho's looking low, they're 3 wide further back. Kukulon looking low on Spurley-Tube. Atkins takes it 3 wide on Eli Bright and Evan Hunter. Mathis Wells in the middle trying to get low, but Anthony Hernandez, Eli's teammate, keeps it down to the bottom of the racetrack. They race down to turns 3 and 4, still 3 wide. Hernandez might give Wells the hole behind him, and the 20 might be able to get down there. Luke running for third, Jericho clear in second place, and Wells now desperately needs to find a way down in line. Zidle does not give him a break, sends him up the racetrack, and Wells still stuck on the outside with nowhere to go but backwards. Not the start to the race Mathis Wells wanted. Started in 6th, and he was probably hoping he could find a hole immediately down to the bottom, but has yet to find that hole. 3 wide, up top, Laura Chung, Baby Ruiz in the middle, and down low it's Keyshawn Richardson down into turns 1 and 2. Very aggressive racing early on at North Wilkesboro, but so far caution-free. In the middle of that, Jordan Stout's going to get out of it, possibly down to the bottom lane. Enters third in the points standing, still with the shot at the championship, but needs to gain a lot of points on Wells and Jericho here today to have a shot come Atlanta. And he's still middle of 3 as Keegan Thompson is fighting to the inside, maybe shoving him up into Baby Ruiz. Very aggressive racing back in the mid-pack. He's 3 wide, a few rows deep, as Chung still falling back on the outside. Thompson lets Stout down in line, and Mathis Wells still can't find a way down line. Lathan Strickland to his inside, and they battle side by side. So Wells went from starting in 6th place. He is now back to a battle for 11th and 12th, with Mitchell Collins coming behind, Conrad Evans, Keyshawn Richardson trying to get there in the 99 as well. Edwards still getting passed in the 83. Atkins moves to 4th. Kukulon for 5th. Spurgeon holds that position in 7th place, but Anthony Hernandez was looking. The 28 gets down in line. At the front, still Matthew Burnett from pole, but Chris Jericho's a fast hot round that number 18. Stalking Burnett, gaining a few hundreds every single lap, just trying to get close enough to make a move and get those 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Wells still on the drop back as Evans and Richardson get to his inside. 3 wide off 4 and down the front straightaway into turn 1. This is not what Mathis Wells needed at all here today. He was probably hoping we get a quick yellow flag like last season. He could get down in line and then regroup from there, but he has not been able to find a hole down in line, and those 29 points don't seem like much as you keep dropping and dropping and dropping through the field. This number 20 car cannot afford to lose any more spots. He's now kicked back to 16th place. He'll get in line behind Stout in front of Keegan Thompson, but the damage has been done. Now Mathis Wells needs to fight his way back through traffic and hope that car is good in race trim. Behind Wells, here comes Nathan Stapleton with a good run. Stapleton, remember, had that very impressive result at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. He's now up inside the top 20, going to 17th place. So Stapleton has some speed here today. Baby Rua is also inside the top 20, and so is Sarah Kirchner. So some of those Chip Ganassi Racing Dodges has shown some pace. Kirchner was inside the top 5 in practice, didn't qualify that well, but so far racing well up inside the top 20, and her teammate Nathan Stapleton also moving up inside the top 20. And right behind them, here comes Zachary DeLello. Started 42nd in this race. We're not even 13 laps in. He's up to 21st. He's passed half the field in the first 13 laps, but now he goes wide. Here comes Evan Hunter looking low. Hunter can't get it done. Still 3 wide. Roberto Crown Jr. trying to break his way inside the top 35 in owners points. He's 3 wide to the bottom. In the middle, and that's not Zachary Fitzwater Sr. He is away doing racing for another series. Here is Logan Williams, who drove the 11 last race. Now it's Fitzwater's ride that Logan Williams is driving here. That number 2 for Penske, trying to get a good result here. And then, in the back, we have a crash. Samet Oskin has pancaked the wall with Jack Haas in the 77. Nathan Bear is back there as well. The yellow will come out for the first time today on lap number 15, with Matthew Burnett still in control from pole position, but now a reset on the race. And that looked like a hard hit. Oskin got spun in the 26, and Jack Haas was to the inside, who got sandwiched between that 26 and the wall. Haas on pit road with a lot of damage. Oskin stays out, but that 77, as mentioned, got sandwiched. And now here we go. Pit stops. They can't make it on fuel from here, but the tire wear is so big at a track like North Wilkesboro, and they stacked up. You can see Nathan Stapleton has damage in the 71. They had stacked up under the caution. Jordan Edwards has rear end damage, so there was contact somewhere. Did Mathis Wells get out of it? I think he did in a fine manner, but there are issues for drivers that are running well inside the top 20. They can't make it on fuel from here. However, the tires wear so much here, you basically have to come down. If you stay out, you would be swallowed up by those new tires. And we saw back in 2000 in this race where there was some tire strategy that arose in that one, and Trey Bartle was on some fresher tires than some other drivers because he had to get put to the back of the field, and he ended up flying through drivers, and basically they couldn't get out of the way fast enough. As Matthew Burnett trying to beat Chris Jericho at the 18 with a very good stop. Burnett may have just gotten to that line, and time left to see what NASCAR rules on that one. Did Jericho beat Burnett out, or did Burnett beat Jericho out? This is a major choice right here. If the 18 beat the 17 out, he's getting bonus points. If Burnett beat him out, he's going to keep, and yes, they rule the 17 beat the 18 to the line, so Burnett holds station on pit road. He'll maintain the race lead. Anthony Hernandez has damage from the 1 car, so he was possibly also involved in that stack up. He's going to fall a lap down, so at Rockingham, he did not have the best of days, and here today, it looks like it's going to be much of the same. He goes a lap down early on. We'll go check out what happened. The first caution is out here in the Dodge 400 at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. So here's the incident coming off turn number 4. Nathan Baird is back behind Samet Oskin and really just kind of gets into his bumper, spins him down right into Jack Haas, who gets pancaked into that inside concrete wall with the 26 of Oskin on his outside. Oskin spins around, has pretty heavy damage on the left side, but Jack Haas's car is pretty much narrowed up on both sides of that race car. Tough break there for these two drivers, and a really bad break for Samet Oskin, who entered in that 26 not too far above the top 35 in owners points. So if he does not have a good race here today, he could possibly be the one to fall outside because Roberto Crown Jr., Roger Ray are having a little bit better days than him. So for Samet Oskin, that team, they need to fix this car up nicely to make sure it can get up to a pretty good pace to stay with drivers and gain some more positions and points. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time in full speed. Here's another view of the crash at the right side of the screen, now towards the middle, with Baird into Osgood and Jack Haas. The 26 spins around and triggers the caution flag within the first 15 laps here in the Dodge 400 at North Wilkesboro. But the wrecking and the incidents were still not over. We had Anthony Hernandez in the number 1 with an extended stay on pit road for some sort of damage, and then we had Nathan Stapleton and Jordan Edwards as well. So as they come off the corner here, they're side by side with Edwards on the outside. Ruiz is there. Oh, Edwards. Yeah, you can't really put blame on anyone for that. I mean, I don't know if Edwards, he was trying to get down to gear and, missed a gear or what, but yeah, you can't really put blame on anyone for that. That was just an unfortunate stack up at a bad time, and it got Nathan Stapleton. I saw the 71 with damage under caution again, and I thought that maybe the worst had happened, but it looks like that it just was some sort of issue on the 83 car. No one behind had time to check up. But right here, oh, Jordan Stout was trying to enter his pit and misjudged it and hit the side of the one of Anthony Hernandez. You've got to know that that Hernandez is going to take exception to that, and who knows what could happen if that one car gets back out there during the race, because we know Hernandez, he's vocal about issues, and that was an issue right there under the caution flag on pit road. The 6 hits the 1. It's the 6's teammate, Matthew Burnett, in the 17, still leading the way here at North Wilkesboro. The green flag will come out with 60 laps of racing to go here at North Wilkesboro. So that means if no more yellows come out, these drivers will have to be on pit road within the final 20 to 10 laps. We'll have to see how this plays out, and if we get another yellow flag, if they can then make it on fuel from there. Haas and Hernandez have both fallen a lap down. They're back in 42nd and 41st. That leaves us 40 cars still on the lead lap, with Matthew Burnett, the control car for the restart, Chris Jericho in 2nd, Luke Rennie 3rd, Justin Atkins 4th, Sebastian Kukla 5th, Eli Bright is up to 6th, Brian Spurgeon 7th, Justin Seidel right where he started in 8th, Mitchell Collins has fallen up to 9th, and Lathan Strickland currently holds the final spot inside the top 10. Nathan Stapleton no-hit on that car. He'll restart in the 15th spot, and Mathis Wells, the points leader entering the race, is back in 19th for the restart. We're back green at North Wilkesboro. Good jump for Burnett. He did not let Chris Jericho make a pass on him. Spurgeon to look for a pass on Eli Bright, who's going to look for a pass on Kukulon, the 29th, the racetrack. Bright to the middle, almost 3 wide. Brian Spurgeon, luckily, I think, backed out of it because he knew they were going to come together if he did not back out. Eli Bright for the top 5, Atkins for 3rd, and it might be for 2nd. Jericho climbs the hill, Stapleton up the track because he has damage on that car. Wells looking for a pass on DeLello, who's flown up here. Atkins in the number 30 takes 2nd away from Chris Jericho. Jericho's going to try and get in line in 3rd place. Luke right behind him in 4th, lets him get in line. Now Luke's under fire from Eli Bright, and here comes Justin Seidel. 3 wide with Lathan Strickland to the inside of Riley Spurgeon and Sebastian Kukulon. Aggressive racing on the restarts. You want to get these positions while the tires are good. Jericho takes 2nd place back from Atkins, going to his inside. How about that 18? Did not fire off well, but immediately took it back from the 30. Jericho's back up to 2nd place. And he really wants those 5 bonus points for leading a lap here today, because Mathis Wells probably won't get it unless something crazy happens here today. So Wells, though, that car definitely looks better on this run of the race, and he's bringing Zachary DeLello up to the front with him. Remember, DeLello started back last place, 42nd. He's moved up nicely to now be scored in the 18th spot. Wells going for 16th on Sarah Kirchner. It's great to say that Sarah Kirchner is having a really good run here today at North Wilkesboro. Baby Rose also up inside the top 15 as Wells moves to 16th. Now we'll look for 15th on that number 92 car. At the front, Kukulon still fading spots. Here comes Jordan Stout. Evans also going up the racetrack. Eli Bright's gone by Luke Rennie for 4th place. Has his sights set on the top 3 now. As here comes Idell looking for a top 5 on the 88, but didn't have to run to make it work. Richardson also up inside the top 10. Spurgeon's dropped back to 9th, and Mitchell Collins did not start out that well, but he's racing pretty well. Stout, a very aggressive dive bomb move, looks for that spot. 11th place on Conrad Evans. That number 6 has come alive here after that pit stop. Richardson up in front of that battle, 7th place at stake. He's going to take it away from Lathan Strickland in the number 15 car. Evans still dropping back. His teammate Kukulon moves to the inside. Thompson, Wells, and DeLello, 3 of those Winston Noble 5 drivers, moving up into the top 20 and top 15 now. And currently Thompson scored in 14th, Wells 15th, and Zachary DeLello in 16th. Remember, DeLello started all the way at the back of the field. Very impressive drive through the running order. Laura Chung having a very impressive drive as well. She's up now for a pass on Sarah Kirchner. Some contact there. Luckily they got out of it right, but remember, Chung, another one of those Winston Noble 5 drivers. She's up now in a battle for 18th with that number 40 of Sarah Kirchner. It has to be hard for these spotters. 3 of those red Dodge cars are right together. Ruiz and Chung, and then not too far behind them is Nolan Lawrence in that number 19 car. So those Dodge drivers have found each other, and Laura Chung has found the gas pedal. She is going to the front with a pass on Bibi Ruiz. She'll make another spot up. Wells has dropped back behind Thompson and DeLello as they try to carve their way through the field. Stout still making a move. Going by Riley Sprutum, now to 9th place for that number 6. Here's about for second again. Atkins looking on Jericho into turn 1. The 18 fends him off for now, but that 30 looking a little bit faster as we cross 50 laps to go. So far, Matthew Burnett's led all the laps from pole position. Here comes that 88. Luke Rainey, 5th place on Justin Zeidel. Now for second. There he goes. Atkins with the run. He's going to take it to the inside in turn 1. And he should be able to make this pass worse. That 30 car, I think, a little bit better than the 18, and they stay side by side, but into turns 3 and 4, the bottom lane will prevail right here for Justin Atkins. He takes second back from Chris Jericho. Jericho will slot in line in 3rd place as they race down to turn 22. He goes a little bit wide, though. Here comes Eli Bright. He has a little bit of a run in that number 8 car. Eli started outside the top 10, 11th place here today, but has raced very, very well up inside the top 5 and signed a contract extension with DEI to stay in that number 8 car through 2003, and he's going to be the owner of Fitz Bradshaw Racing for next season, filling the hole that Lathan Strickland left behind. So Eli Bright with some big moves, and we know that Sabat Oskin, who drives the 26, will drive the number 81 for Fitz Bradshaw Racing next season. So Eli Bright making some big moves in the offseason, and great to have him back in that number 8 for DEI. I'm sure DEI is thrilled with that. So here we go, bound for 3rd. Bright makes the move to the inside of Chris Jericho. Almost contact made, but they kept it clean, and Bright looking for the top 3 spot on Jericho. I think just like Atkins, it's a matter of time before he makes that pass work, and there he goes. Bright to 3rd place. Jericho now back to 4th, but should be able to get down line. Luke Rainey still holding tough in 5th. Strickland is now 6th. He got by. Justin Zeidel is back now to 8th place because Keyshawn Richardson moves to the inside by him. And Jordan Stout, the number 6, will be next up. That 6 has flown on this restart and is still flying up onto guys. Here he goes on to that number 24 of Zeidel. That would be for 8th place. See a nice gap from Wells on back to that next group of cars. I'm sure Wells likes seeing that, but he's currently only scored in 15th place. It's not you know, he made all those moves on the restart, but has not been able to make moves since then. So we have a car on pit road. Couldn't tell quite which car it was, but there is a car. It's Zachary DeLello. Remember, DeLello came from the back, but the 97 has issues. It's into pit road now, and it's going to fall laps down. A tough break for DeLello, who had a fast race car, was up inside the top 15, and his championship chances, the slightest of bits that they were, have now diminished here at North Wilkesboro. Tough break for DeLello. Very tough break. It's down to 8th place by Justin Zeidel. Kukulon holding tough in 10th with Evans in 11th. Riley Spiritum now 12th. And then the battle back here for 14th. Thompson had it. Wells the points leader, trying to get every spot he can. DeLello comes off pit road, but the damage has been done for the driver of the 97. His chances at the championship, his chances at the race victory have gone downhill. Zeidel still fading back. This is exactly what I was talking about with this number 24 team. Lately, they've qualified into the top 15, top 10. But then when the race comes, they immediately drop to the back. Here today, it was not that evident. They had raced pretty well up to this point, but now they're continuing to fade back, dropping position. Now back to 10th place for that number 24 car. And Evans behind could drop him outside of the top 10. Luke Green still holding tough in 5th. Strickland in 6th. Atkins had closed the gap on Burnett a little bit, but as of late, he has really dropped back from the 17, and Eli Bright, Jericho can't catch. So at the moment, Burnett has now led 41 of the 8 laps, the most laps led. He's going to get those 5 bonus points, but no one can catch him so far. Stout climbed the hill, messed up 3 and 4, probably drove it in too hard. Here comes Kukulon with a run to the inside. 8th and 9th on the racetrack. Kukulon trying to take it away from that number 6 of Stout. Behind, Wells was under fire from Laura Chung for 14th and 15th, but Wells got the pass made back on that number 9. There's Mathis. Jose Mills in the 7 up into the top 20. Diego Yepes continues to impress. That number 44 car, so slow in qualifying. He was the slowest car out here. Ended up 41st because of DeLello's inspection issues. Here he is, top 20 in 18th place, even with that left side damage. Probably came on pit road. Matt Tuck also didn't qualify all that well in that number 25 car. Tuck has raced his way up into the top 20. Tim Gary didn't start that well. He's up battling around 20th place. Logan Williams, as mentioned, behind the wheel, that number 2 this race, moving up nicely. There's Jay Randall, Habitat for Humanity car. Great cause there. Currently up just outside the top 20. He also did not start all that well. See Hunter Reedy started up inside the top 10. He's dropped back along with Evan Hunter. Hernandez, remember, a lap down. There's Sarah Kirchner. She's kind of dropped, along with Jordan Edwards, who started up in 3rd place. Jude Martinelli making his final start of the season in the number 67 car, currently inside the top 30. Roberto Crown Jr. trying to get inside the top 35 in Norris points, and Nolan Lawrence is all torn up. There was obviously some contact with that number 19 car, and he is junk and continuing to drop back with that damage. If we get an angle of what happened, we'll definitely go back and take a look. Joshua Harrison making his first ever Winston Cup Series start for Brett Bodine Racing. Currently has that car just outside of the top 30. Currently in a battle for 31st with Jack Carter. Nathan Stapleton without a hood still dropping back. Here's his number 59. First start of the season for this team. Jerry Chen making his second ever start. Remember, he drove that number 19 car at Phoenix, but unfortunately crashed under the caution flag with Nathan Stapleton. BAM Racing has tried to get this number 59 to the show for the past few races, but not been successful. They were finally successful here today, but it's not been the best of races. Currently back in 33rd place, just making that pass on the number 19 of Nolan Lawrence. As mentioned, there's the 71, the 4, the 22, 55, 26, all at the back of the field. Burnett just put a lap on Jack Haas, so that puts him now 2 laps down. DeLello, with his issues, fell 3 laps down in the 97 car. Burnett's opened up a 1.27 second gap over Justin Atkins. Jericho back up to 3rd by Eli Braves back to 4th. 5th place Luke Rainey. Richardson up to 6th. 7th to Kukulon. 8th place is Stout. He's under fire from Lathan Strickland, who dropped back, but is now trying to get some spots back. Strickland back up to 8th in the number 15 car as we've crossed 30 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro. Come back to 29 laps to go in the Dodge 400. Let's take a look at our Advanced Auto Parts question of the week. Last week we had asked how many different winners will this season end up with? Well, the answer is either 16 to 19. Unfortunately, the 4% that said 19 are wrong because we had a repeat winner, Mathis Wells, last race. But the winning vote, 17, with a 52% of the vote. So people think that there's going to be one more winner in these final few races, and it could possibly be here today because Matthew Burnett has been out front dominating, leading every lap so far from that pole position, a la of what happened with Mathis Wells last week, where he led all but 2 laps, and those 2 laps came under green flag pit cycles. But this week it's the final Advanced Auto Parts question of the week. Championship battle at the moment as it runs will come down between Chris Jericho and Mathis Wells. Stout and DeLello and all the others have not gained enough points to make it more than just those 2 cars, but since it's still possible, who will win the championship next week at Atlanta? Will it be Mathis Wells? Will it be Chris Jericho? Will it be some other driver that has an outside shot at the championship entering into this race? So put your votes in and we'll give the results next week at Atlanta, where that championship battle is going to rage on for sure. Jericho had a pass maybe set up for 2nd place, went up the track and went into that, brought Eli Bright right back into it. Still lapping Jack Haas, who's doing a good job giving everyone the bottom of the racetrack. He's just staying high, getting out of everyone's way as best as he can. Mathis Wells dropped a spot. Laura Chung continues to move her way through the field. She moves to 14th. Wells back to 15th. Keegan Thompson in 16th. With Mills and Yepes not too far back. Matt Tuck and Logan Williams have found themselves inside the top 20 as well. Good battle back here just outside the top 10. This is 12th and 13th. Riley Spurley has it. Mitchell Collins in the 12 wants this. Collins taking a peek down to the inside turns 1 and 2. And it looks like he's going to have the run to the inside, but we're coming up on to 20 laps to go. Remember, these drivers, they came down pit road with about 55 to 60 laps to go. So we know that they cannot make it on fuel unless they've been desperately saving the fuel that they have. So within the next probably 5 to 7 laps, we might see drivers start their move on the pit road. And what will the strategy be? Is it going to be 4 tires? Is it going to be 2 tires? Is it going to be fuel only? That strategy call could influence Who wins this one? As the battle for second has tightened up, Atkins has faded back to Jericho and Eli Bright. It's a 3-car race for second, third, and fourth. But Matthew Burnett has been on cruise control all day long, looking for that first victory of the season from pole position. Now he has the back of the field ahead, so this could slow him up if he catches them before pit stop start. Nolan Lawrence does a lot of damage. Roger Ray's back here. Nathan Stimpson without a hood. Sabanosky and Jimmy Stewart Jr. So there are cars up here that could hold up this number 17 car if the race stays green. Here's Eli Bright in the number 8 attacking Chris Jericho, moving his way back to third place. Yeah, so Jericho just could not find a way around that number 30 car, and it really hurt him. He lost his spot. Keyshawn Richardson could not find a way around Luke Rainey, lost his spot to Kukulon, now might lose his spot to Lathan Strickland again. Strickland fighting it to the bottom lane, sending it in deep. He's going to make that pass for 7th place. Now Richardson's teammate Jordan Stout is right there as well. Richardson, Stout both up the hill. Here comes Justin Zeidel. His car's going wide. Jericho's going to undercut. He's going to short pit. While this could be very, very beneficial for him, it could also lose him the championship, because if a yellow comes out, he could fall a lap or two down. So Jericho comes in first, trying to get the tires sooner. Does Matthew Burnett now make the move into pit road, knowing the 18 pitted? He doesn't. He's staying out there. He's going to get caught in traffic. It's a long pit road. Jericho still not yet made his pit stall. There's the 18. There's Burnett. It looks like Atkins has come in. Yeah, so a lot of drivers now on pit road. Jericho, at least 2 tires. Will it be 4 or will it just be those 2? You would almost think it's just going to be 2 and go. But they're going to put 4 on it, trying to get the tires to make it. Down and away for the 18. 4 tires, the first guy in. As everyone else now on a congested pit road. That's another reason to get in sooner. This pit road's going to be so busy. Matthew Burnett could get held up if cars come out in a bad place. There's Atkins. Eli Bright. Sebastian Kukulon's going to jump Eli Bright. Here comes Chris Jericho, up to speed on fresher tires, trying to leapfrog Justin Atkins. And it looks like he'll accomplish it. And he will. Jericho's out. Nathan Stapleton coming out pit road. The 18's going to get stuck to the outside. This could hurt Chris Jericho. So now Jericho with Nathan Stapleton. Look at this mess of cars that the race leaders have found themselves in. And will the 17 cycle out with the leader, or is it going to be Chris Jericho? The 18 still under fire from lap traffic as they cross the stripe. Who is the race leader? It's gone the way of Chris Jericho. The undercuts work, and the 18 is out in front now. Atkins is second. Kukulon's third. It was a slow start for Burnett. He's all the way back to 9th place. Burnett's back in 9th, and now he's coming back pit road. There is an issue on the pit stop. Matthew Burnett from dominant to now out of the running. And second in points now leads the race with under 15 laps to go. A big battle back here. Drivers trying to get around Zachary Dolello. Luke Rennie 5th. He has his hands full with Keyshawn Richardson in 6th. Riley Spurgeon is there. Justin Zeidel as well. Battle for 5th is ongoing. Eli Bright trying to maintain touch with Sebastian Kukulon for a top 3. Atkins trying to keep touch with Chris Jericho for the race victory. Jericho going for his 3rd win of the season. Remember, last race where he faltered and finished outside the top 15. Meanwhile, his teammate and championship competitor Mathis Wells ended up dominating and winning the race. Now today, Jericho's up front leading the race. Wells is back in 12th place. It will be oh so close if it stays like this. Jericho trying to put a lap on Roger Ray. Atkins can't get around Nathan Stapleton. Losing time. Yellow's out though. They've crashed on the backstretch. Mitchell Collins, remember he was in a battle with Mathis Wells. Did the 20 get into the 12? Wells has no damage though. He's fine. But with 11 to go, we're going to have a restart. Jericho's going to have 2 lap cars between he and Justin Atkins. And this restart's going to be very, very late in the race. Oh my goodness. So Jericho with the lead. He'll have Roger Ray, Nathan Stapleton between he and Justin Atkins for the restart. And the rest of the field took the caution flag. And was it Mathis Wells that got into the 12? We'll have to just find that out. Drama unfolding. There's Collins, all the damage on that number 12 car. So Jericho, second in points now with the just unthinkable strategy there to get himself out in front. He leads the Dodge 400 after Matthew Burnett had issues on pit road and surrendered a lead lap position. We'll go check out what happened. Mitchell Collins has damage in that number 12 car, and it possibly came from a battle with Mathis Wells in the number 20. Well, I don't know if this was just an accident or what, but Mitchell Collins in the 12 had caught DeLello, who was slower on worse tires, and Mathis Wells does not lift. Collins spins hard into the inside concrete, hits that barrel. It's not over for Collins, though, as he spins back around up the racetrack. He's going to just tap this right here. Look at that. Barrel slowed him down, but he still tapped the concrete wall. He drove away, but a hard hit for Mitchell Collins, and luckily no one else came in and clobbered him as well, but was running up with a very good run after starting towards the middle of the pack. Now he's going to be with a lot of damage and a torn-up race car after contact with Mathis Wells. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time at full speed. One more look as Wells and Collins. I mean, it just looks like Mathis never tried to let up, and I know he's racing for a championship, trying to get every spot, but you almost have to wonder if someone said in his ear, hey, listen, the 18's leading. And I don't know if that planted a seed in his brain of I need a caution flag right now or I need to get every spot possible, but obviously only Mathis will know that answer. He rides right now 11th while his championship rival and teammate Chris Jericho leads out North Wilkesboro, but will be able to hold off the drivers behind on a late race restart for the victory and $1 million bonus. This will be the final restart of the day here in North Wilkesboro. Will come with 5 laps to go. Second in points, Chris Jericho entering the race now leads this one over Justin Atkins. Jack Haas is a lap down, Haas is 2 down. Matthew Burnett's a lap down. So is the 1, the 19, the 97, the 45, 36, 59, 83, 43, 71, and 55. 30 cars on the lead lap. Jericho right now, as they run, would lead with a 21-point gap over Wells. Any position Wells can gain is 4 points. Any spot he loses is 3 points. Jericho trying to hold on for the victory and $1 million bonus. Atkins in second, Kukul on third, Eli Bright and Keyshawn Richardson are the front 5. But really at the moment, it's a battle between the 18 and the 30. Can Atkins get by the lap traffic? Can the 18 hold off the lap traffic? There is the green flag for the final time at North Wilkesboro. Atkins got put to the outside by Roberto Crown Jr., and now the 30's going to lose spots. It's basically over unless Jericho has an issue. Back here, Wells has spots he can gain. Stout and Strickland. Remember, every spot he moves is 4 points. Yeah, so he needs to pass cars right here. He's 21 points back at the moment. They're going to wreck. Mills got into DeLello, who got into Thompson. They saved it. Tuck's going 3 wide around the outside, and the 97 still slower on the worst tires. Tuck's going to make the move. Work off 2. What a pass for Matt Tuck. Thompson, though, drives in deep. His teammate not going to let the 25 get away. On pit road for the 11. Tough break there for Joshua Harrison. Battle for second, tightening up. Atkins still on the outside, falling back. Bright got by Kukulon. Now he's gotten by the 30 as well. Coming back to 2 to go for Chris Jericho. Bright rides in second. Wells has gone by Strickland. He's getting by Stout. He's getting by Riley Spurley-Tube. 2 laps to go. Could move up to 8th. That would be 12 points. They'd leave within single-digit points of each other. White flag in hand. Chris Jericho has 0.6 of a mile to go to pick up his 3rd victory of the season. He was over 500 points back at one point of the points leader this season, but he never gave up, and it's continuing to show. He'll pick up his 3rd victory of the season, his 2nd in the past 4 races, and he's now the points leader with the checker flag in hand. $1 million richer for Chris Jericho. And look at Mathis Wells. He got all those spots at the end. He might leave as the points leader, actually. We'll have to confirm. But Wells had an incredible last lap. But Chris Jericho wins this one, and he is $1 million richer, as he's the 2nd driver this season to secure that Winston Noble 5 bonus with a victory in a Winston Noble 5 race. That's incredible for Chris Jericho, and what a heavyweight championship battle this has been. 3 of the last 4 races have been won by either Mathis or Chris Jericho, the front 2 in the championship. We know it's going to be one of those 2 leaving us champion, but my goodness, this points battle is oh so tight as we leave North Wilkesboro going into the final race of the season at Atlanta. All we know is that Chris Jericho is the race victory here at North Wilkesboro. With some unfortunate issues for the 17 Burnett, it all worked out in the end for Chris Jericho. Second place goes to Eli Bright, a very impressive run there. Suresh Kukla ends up in 3rd. Keyshawn Richardson in 4th, and Just Nackins. The lap cars, the restarts did not go his way. He ends up in 5th place here today. But we know those 5, since the Winston Noble 5 program is coming back next season, those 5 will be in the Winston Noble 5 first race of next season. Zidell ends up in 6th place here today. Very, very needed race for that number 24 team. Luke Rennie ends up in 7th. Mathis had a drive there in the last restart. Restarted in 11th place. He gains 3 spots to get up in 8th. So he gained 12 points right there. 9 points separates Chris Jericho and Mathis unofficially into the final race of the season. Riley Sprotube, once again, Robert Yates Racing, very impressive this season. He gets another top 10 in 9th, and Conrad Evans with the top 10. All 3 of the RCR cars performed very, very well here today. Stout faded on that last restart, ends up in 11th. 12th place to Lathan Strickland. Great run for Yepez in 13th. Matt Tuck in 14th, and Keegan Thompson in 15th. Those drivers really had gritty performances here today. Laura Chung a solid top 20. Jay Randall moved up from the back of the field. Logan Williams is one off for Penske Racing, ends up with the top 20. Tim Gary, Noah Clifton also get top 20s here today. Jamie Stammer Jr. 21st. Great run with Jack Carter right there. Jose Mills dropped back to 23rd. Samet Oskin involved in that first accident. A lot of damage, but gets 24th. Nathan Baird, Baby Ruiz. There's Jude Martinelli, Sarah Kirchner. Mitchell Collins last car in the lead lap with all that damage. We had 30 cars on the, 29 cars on the lead lap. 30th on down, 1 lap down, and the big stories down here are drivers like Anthony Hernandez, contact on pit road Jordan Stout. Don't know how that's going to unfold. Nolan Lawrence, the issues on the racetrack for that number 19. 17 of Matthew Burnett, who dominated here today, but had an issue on pit road, possibly a wheel left loose or some sort of speeding penalty, and lost all that track position. Went from dominant out in front, no one could catch him, to 39th, 1 down, and DeLello, his issues put him a lap down in 40th place as well. And as mentioned, the points are oh so close as we leave North Wilkesboro heading into Atlanta, the final race of the season. One-on-one battle between teammates. It will be either Chris Jericho or Mathis with the championship at Atlanta. Jericho going for his 2nd straight Winston Cup Series championship, and Mathis trying to show that he can compete with his teammate Chris Jericho on a weekly basis, and he's done so far. The final task will be if he can beat him for that championship. It's also close between the teammates, and it's going to be fun to see how it all plays out next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Napa 500. The final race of the 2002 season is going to be a thriller, as the championship battle could not be closer between the 20 and the 18. Tune in next week to JRTV for all the coverage of the championship battle and see who comes home with the NASCAR Winston Cup Series 2002 championship. Today, the odds for Chris Jericho were helped with a 3rd victory of the season and his first ever at North Wilkesboro here on JRTV. It was a great race, and congratulations to the number 18 crew on rising to the occasion, getting it done just like Mathis did last week. Chris Jericho did this week here at North Wilkesboro.